We discussed quad dominant patterns last time, so let's move on to its counterpart of glute dominant patterns. For glute dominant actions, we want the following combinations to be present. Let's explore these positions. When done on land, glute dominant actions allow for forward leaning positions where the weight of the body is mostly on the front foot or toes. Now it's easy to assume that the top of a hinge movement would equate to simply standing up, but the back chain is better engaged when it is trying to keep the entire body extended despite the downward resistance that is caused by leaning forward. Because the glutes are oriented this way, glute dominant actions are best used when we need the legs to squeeze into the midline. This movement pattern would be appropriate for an action like the breaststroke kick, which requires the legs to snap into the midline. The arrangements of levels 1 and 2 are as follows. Now we just have to add the third element to seal in the emphasis on the back chain. This would equate to cues such as screwing the feet outward or counterclockwise. To prompt the lowering phase, screwing the feet inward helps us rappel the body down into the stretch phase. A tactile reminder for the lowering phase could be a block or solid object between the legs that requires an element of internal rotation to keep the block between the legs. Remember that we are only rappelling down to stretch the muscles that we already engaged in levels 1 and 2. But once external rotation is re-established, the back chain will contract back to the starting position. What are the implications for this pattern for breaststroke recovery? It means that our main goal during this phase is to cue internal rotation, whether through verbal cues like heels to back or through tactile cues as is the case when using a pull buoy. Internal rotation therefore is crucial for the hip hinge position. But notice how the feet are not yet in position to point to the sides of the pool. It is only when we switch back into external rotation as the kick pushes back when the standard W shape with the toes out position is achieved. This is continued until all elements from the starting position are re-established. A frame-by-frame comparison would look something like this. Heels draw up, initial pushback on the water, continuing all the way to the finish. Subscribe for more content.